Hey, Shalom, all praises be unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Recha Kodash Tam Yad, Shabbat Shalom. To the sincere brothers and sisters, double honors unto the apostles. I should have said that first, really, man. Get it in order. All praises be to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Recha Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the bishop elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Shabbat Shalom to the brothers and sisters. And salutations, to the Arkim who continue to push the word in truth and in sincerity. And pretty much what I'm going to do is just say a few words on the Ten Commandments, man. We always talk about it. It's in your mind. It's in our minds, but, I've done videos on this before, but, because, the Lord gave the breath to Israelites, man. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. The breath, which is the law and faith. The gift of faith as well, man. It's a primary pillar. Okay. You gotta know the commandments to keep the commandments. And faith is a gift, but we have once the gift has been graciously given unto us, we have to exercise it. Otherwise, if the Lord gives and it's not used properly or kept properly, it's taken away. So anyhow, this is Exodus 20:1, right? And the Ten Commandments is like a summary of the whole law. Christianity would have you believe they're just 10 commandments, 10 rules, and that's it. Nah, there's 613, but the 10 is a summary of the whole law. And it deals with all aspects of the law. It deals with the issue of worship and who to worship. It deals with social laws, how to treat people. It deals with I'm trying to think of an appropriate word here. It deals with the main observance of the high holy days, which all go by the new moon and around the Sabbaths. Okay. It deals with social injustice. Okay. It deals with gratitude. Alright. It deals with the economic output, how much is to be worked, when to stop working, It deals with all of these things. So it's a summary of how to deal as Israelites in life, man. So this is Exodus 20:1. It says, "And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord Jehovah, thy power." Now when Moses was hearing this voice in Mount Sinai, it was the voice of Yahweh Shai, representing the Most High. Okay, you can catch that in Colossians 1:15. But it says in verse 2, "I am the Lord Yahweh thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, and out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me." Okay. Now let's click into that word God. God's here. Alright. It says Elohim, which would be Alachayam. Okay, Alachayam, which basically gets into rulers, judges, powers, essentially. And the crazy thing about it is that something might not have power, but you ascribe power to it. And it becomes, that powerless thing becomes a god over you because you ascribe power to it. You put it over you. Which is madness, man. So we're not to have any other gods, man. People think of a god of, oh, well, I pray to it. Worship just means to reverence and respect, man. To, really reverence, man. And anything that takes the place of more reverence and respect than the Most High and His Son, that becomes a god above the Most High. That could be a car, that could be a job, that could be a particular family member, that could be money, that could be a woman. The woman one is common, man. Okay? I don't pray, I don't bow down to I don't pray to my woman. Yeah, but everything she says comes first before what the Most High stipulates. Then you've made her a god over the Lord. Okay? So verse 3, thou shalt have no other powers before me. Nothing is to be placed on the same level or above in your silly little head or my silly little head. Most High forbid if it was ever to do that, because it's not in reality. But if in our stupid little minds anything is higher than the Most High, that's forbidden. Okay? That's a false reality. That's not the truth. But the concept of living by that in your head is wrong, man. So don't do that. Don't live by that. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am the Lord Jehovah thy power. I am a jealous power. Yes, the Most High is jealous, man. Okay, He wants Israel to only be up His street, as it were, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. So the Lord is jealous over Israel. So every time, as a nation and even individually, we've gone against that, it's risen up the jealousy of the Lord. I believe it's Numbers chapter 5. If a man is possessed with jealousy over his wife, he's not off. He can go to the priest, and she would have to drink a bitter mixture of water, essentially mixed with some dust from the ground, and then her inner thighs by her crotch area would be inspected, and if it was black, which would aka mean rotted, then it meant she was sleeping around behind that man's back. So the innate jealousy he felt over her, which was really the vibration of another man that pissed him off, then she would be put to death. And if a man was consumed by jealousy over his wife, but he was wrong, and she was faithful, then go home. And of course the woman would feel a certain type of way about that. I can't believe you took me to the Kahanyam. I can't believe you took me to the priest and made me drink that bitter mixture with dust and dirt, and because you thought I was cheating and I'm not. You see, naturally a woman's gonna, probably have a little bit of a go at you, but at the end of the day, so what? It's a husband's right within the law to be jealous over his wife, and if it consumes him, there's protocols put in place by the Most High for that jealousy to be discovered the truth, or for it to basically be written off as nothing, back to normal. But how much more the Most High, who is for whose possession is Israel, whose possession is all things and all nations, but unto himself he's called Israel. So the Lord is a jealous power. Verse 7, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord, thy power in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. just saying the Lord's name any old how, or being familiar, even thinking of the Lord, just saying his name. See, they got it in the Hebrew here, the Assyrian script. They say pronouncing it Jehovah, but there's no V in Hebrew, it's a W, man. Which is basically two V's put together. The V becomes W, wa. Alright, so here they got Yehovah. Jehovah, no, it's Yahweh. Yahweh, man. The existing one. The proper name of the one true God. So the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, is not to be taken in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. We're under grace, man. So, when certain things aren't kept, the Lord basically lets us off. But that's of a willing heart of a servant that's sincerely trying. If you're just taking the piss, that's a different scenario. But we're to keep the Sabbath day holy. Scriptures speak about if thou will refrain from thine pleasures on my Sabbath day, Sabbath day, if it's not in the line of doing good, and a necessary good to yourself or your brother, if it's not within the line of a necessary good to yourself or your brother, you shouldn't really sell or buy on the Sabbath, But let's say a brother hasn't eaten or whatever, or something goes down and you got to go to a shop on the Sabbath day and buy it, then that's all right. Yahushua said, if you have a sheep that fell in the pit on the Sabbath day, would you leave it there and let it die? Or would you go and take it out, which would be considered work? It's good to do good on the Sabbath. And the Lord went on to say the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath, man. Shit happens, life happens, but you just inconvenience yourself and others, or go just make shit harder. Salakia, I should stop using those words, man, as much Salakia. But, making situations more difficult for yourself, all in the name of, I kept the Sabbath. No, the Sabbath was made for man, okay, to have a rest and a joy and a fellowship with the Lord. Not the man made for the day. Okay, I'm just sitting here observing these 24 hours, sunset to sunset, and no. Now again, let me clarify. That's not to say do what the hell you want, buy and this and that and sell and this and that. Nah. Do the best that you don't have to do these things. You don't have to cook or light a fire on the Sabbath day, put a sandwich together or something. But in the case of it being a necessary good unto yourself in a time of need, or a brother, or whatever, then it's okay. But the Sabbath is to be kept holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do thy work, but the 7th day is a Sabbath unto the Lord thy power. And the Sabbaths, man, you can get into that, but that's a whole different lesson in itself, because the Sabbaths, and then that's you got to talk about the new moon, you got to talk about the high holy days, all kind of thing, man. You got to go back to Genesis. It's a lot, man. So that's a whole topic in itself. For in 6 days the Lord made the heaven and the earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee. Most of us, if our parents were still around, don't see eye to eye with our parents where it concerns the truth, because they're not on it like that, but we've been admonished and taught by the apostles, still respect your parents, still help them out. The only thing you can't do is anything that becomes an inconvenience from you giving your best efforts in the truth, but outside of that, hey mom, dad, I still love you, I love you, thank you for all you did for me, or whatever you got to say, But we just respectfully disagree on the issues of God, you know, or your take on the Bible versus mine or whatever, you know. But still, no matter what, you know, and even if your parents weren't the best parents to you, that is the case for some brothers, you know, you have to spiritually man up and not have an emotional approach, but a biblical approach to still respect your father that may not have done his best in your life, and still respect your mother that may not have done her best in your life, because at the end of the day, those are the parents in this go round the Lord saw fit to give you, man, and it's a command to honor them. Okay, you know, thou shalt not kill, meaning unlawful taking of a life. You know, you can't just go around deleting people because they stepped on your shoes. That's the kind of madness that happens out here in this day and age. You know, for someone to get killed, it has to be over something serious. Like, it was in the night time and they tried to burgle you and you hit them or whatever and you killed them. That's okay according to the law. You know, if the sun's not above your head, or if you know, caught in the act of adultery and, you know, the man and the woman get put to death, them type of things there. Okay, there's justified execution. Or sorry, I should say there's lawful execution, but you can't just go around deleting people for the sake of it. You know, you can't, even David at time wanted to just delete people because he was in his feelings, but then he had to refrain from it because, you know, can't just do that, man. You can't just kill people. Well, we have different views, or you like a different source to me, I'm gonna kill you. That's madness, man. But that's the madness that happens out here. What's his name? Takeoff. Takeoff, the guy from the Migos, whatever they're called. He got deleted a couple of days ago, you know, and the clip was circulating on certain social medias, and I saw it, man. You know, over some bullshit. Some people say it was over dice. Some people say it was over a dispute or whatever it was. Whatever trivial thing, he got deleted, man. He got clipped in his torso, and one in his head, man. You know, now that's ultimately the judgment of the Lord. But the concept of Jake just deleting each other is against the law. It's against the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. You know, sleeping with another man's woman. Yeah. You know, it's not right, man. You know, it's off. Thou shalt not steal. Okay? Self-explanatory. If it's not yours, you know, ask. You know, or buy. But don't just take things away and you have no right doing it. That's stealing, man. You know, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Don't lie. Don't covet thy neighbor's. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. To covet means to be jealous with ill intent, man. You know. Oh, he's got that. I wish I had that. How did he get that? I want that. That's wicked. Don't covet your neighbor's house. Don't covet your neighbor's wife. Oh, his wife's beautiful. How did he get her? Oh, I wouldn't mind tapping that. It's fucking off. Nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Any of you, a brother's possessions, man, you want to be happy for that brother. Not hating on him in your heart. That's against the law. You know, Jake be like, you a hater. Being a hater to another Israelite is against the law. How about that? You know, and all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking, and the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. So, you know, the nation didn't hear the voice of the Lord. They just heard the shofar getting louder and louder with thunder and smoke until they ran away from the mountain. But Moses actually heard the voice of the Lord. You know, that's pretty much it, man. You know, these are just morals to live by, man. You know, you may say, oh, it's 10 commandments, which solidifies, not solidifies, which is a summary, that's the word, of 613. That's so many. 613 commandments, laws, statutes, and commandments isn't a lot compared to Esau's thousands and thousands, and this amendment and that amendment and this up. You know, the Lord is practical, simple, but packed with wisdom, man. You know, and here's with that, man. I'm out, man. Shut up.